Just a few minutes ago, we concluded the European Council. We had some very important subjects on the agenda. But I'd just like to say something about the dramatic earthquake in Turkey and Syria. I was able to express our condolences to the victims, and I was able to underscore our determination as the European Union and together with member states to support those affected, help the survivors, and help with search and rescue. And we also sent a letter to President Erdogan. This was signed by all members of the European Council. And we expressed our willingness to mobilize all our resources to help the victims of the earthquake. And there's going to be a donors conference in Brussels in the near future. That's the first point. Secondly, I'd like to say something about the economy. In December, Europe's leaders decided to launch a process whereby at the end of this extraordinary summit we will be able to give an extra impulse, an extra boost. And I think this shows our commitment on 3 points. First of all, financing, making state aid more flexible. This state aid has to be targeted and limited in time, and this would go hand in hand with flexibility in existing financial resources, so that the European Union is able to mobilize resources quickly and target our industrial base. The second pillar relates to permit authorizations, simplifying those procedures. And then the third pillar is to promote public and private investment in key sectors for our future. I'd like to refer specifically to trade. Over the next few weeks, we will be stepping up our efforts on trade agreements. Capitals market is a very important lever in Europe, and it's actually underused, and this should allow us to leverage more private resources in the future. And we agreed to pursue work on economic governance, taking into account decisions taken today. And then there's a question of migration. We agreed that this would be on the agenda. Last year, we saw big increases in the number of people coming to the European Union. We had a very good, frank exchange, a very fruitful exchange. This is a matter of joint concern. We need to find a European response. We decided to focus on 3 areas. First of all, external action, step up our cooperation with countries of origin and transit. Then there's a question of returns and readmissions. The returns rate is low. So we've identified those areas where we need to work on in order to increase the returns rate. And then we have the question of protection of our external borders. We are committed to deploying more resources. In March, we plan to come back to the question of migration. We don't want to have a lengthy discussion on lengthy conclusions. Rather, we want an update following what was agreed today. This will give the Commission and the Presidency an opportunity to report to leaders on progress made. And we'll look in particular at the roadmap in Dublin, external borders, and then the question of private entities. In other words, vessels carrying out search and rescue operations. This is something that we need to discuss at ministerial level. And then we had the conclusions on Ukraine. They were endorsed. They've been circulated. If you haven't received them yet, you will soon. I won't dwell on that. because Ursula went into some detail earlier at the press conference. Today, we looked at the question of munition stocks as well. This is in line with the message that was communicated together with President Zelensky. And the idea is to make progress at the March summit, progress in terms of our industrial cooperation and our ability to supply our defence systems with munitions. So those are the points we wanted to share with you at this late hour.
Please.
Yes, good